Behind the smile I show the day. A quiet storm is tucked away. My lips may curve, my eyes may shine, but shadows walk this heart of mine. I laugh along, I play my part, a perfect mask, a work of art. No one can hear the silent cry that echoes when the nights pass by. The world sees strength in how I stand. They do not see the trembling hand. They hear my voice so calm and slow, not knowing what I never show. Each "I'm okay," I softly say builds another wall that keeps at bay the fragile truth. The aching space I hide behind a steady face. My heart remembers every fall, each broken dream. I kept them all, like folded letters, old and torn, of battles lost and hope unborn. I carry words I never spoke, of trust that bent, of faith that broke, of nights I stared into the dark and felt the world erase my spark. There's pain that doesn't shout or scream. It lives inside like a fading dream. It walks with me through crowded streets, in silent steps, in quiet beats. You'd never know by how I talk, by how I laugh, by how I walk, that deep inside, beneath the skin, 1,000 storms are locked within. I learned to hide it long ago, when tears were things I couldn't show, when being strong was not a choice, and silence swallowed every voice. So I became the calm, the light, the one who says, "It's fine, I'm all right," while something fragile, small, and scared sat in the dark, untouched, uncared. My hidden pain has learned my name. It knows my steps. It knows my shame. It sits beside me when I eat. It follows every heartbeat. It whispers when the room is loud. It makes me small within a crowd. It paints my thoughts in shades of gray and steals the golden from the day. There are no scars upon my skin to show the war I fight within. No bandaged wound for eyes to see. Just quiet, endless injury. Sometimes it comes without a sound. A sudden weight that drags me down. A heavy air. A tightening chest. A heart that never seems to rest. I breathe. I smile. I nod. I cope. I speak of plans, of dreams, of hope, while underneath, a fragile thread is all that holds what's left unsaid. The nights are where it grows the most, when light is gone and noise is ghost, when thoughts, like waves, begin to rise and truth looks back through tired eyes. I talk to ceilings, walls, and air, to memories that still live there, to versions of myself I miss, to moments lost I still revisit. I ask the dark what I did wrong, why being brave feels being strong, why holding on can hurt this much, why healing feels so out of touch. My hidden pain knows every tear I forced to fall, but not appear, each time I turned away my face to let my sorrow leave no trace. I've mastered how to change the theme when talk gets close to what I feel. A joke, a shrug, a quick, "I'm fine," a practiced exit from the line. People say, "You're strong, it's true." If strength means hurting and smiling too, if strength means breaking silently, then yes, I am what they see in me. But strength can also be a cage where feelings pace from age to age, where hearts grow tired of standing guard and softness feels forever barred. I wish sometimes that pain would show in colors others' eyes could know, a shade of blue across my skin to say, "There's thunder here within." So someone might just pause and see the storm that's walking next to me, might sit beside me, not to fix, but stay through all the silent ticks. Because hidden pain does not need cure as much as presence, kind and pure. A gentle voice, a patient ear, a "you don't have to hide here." Still, I wake up, I wear my face, step back into the daily race, tie my thoughts like laces tight and carry on from night to night. Yet somewhere deep, a fragile light still flickers softly in the fight. A hope that one day I will be more honest with what lives in me, that I will speak without the fear that truth will make me disappear, that tears will fall and not be wrong, that soft can also still be strong. Until that day, I walk this way, with hidden pain I don't betray, a quiet ache, a secret rain, a tender, unspoken, hidden pain that I fold my sorrow like a note and keep it in my chest pocket, close to the rhythm of my heart, where broken things and breathing start. Each day I add a little more, another ache behind the door, another later, not today, another truth I push away. The sun may rise in golden streams, but light can't always reach our seams. There are corners dusk has claimed where joy arrives but leaves unnamed. I watch the world in shades of glass, see moments come and people pass. I wave, I talk, I stand in place, yet feel like I'm not in the space. My hidden pain, a shadow twin, knows where I end and it begins. It wears my voice, it wears my eyes, it answers softly to my sighs. It sits with me in crowded rooms and fills the air with silent gloom. Though laughter dances, bright and loud, it wraps me in an unseen shroud. Sometimes I envy those who cry without explaining reasons why, who let their heartbreak flood the floor and don't feel weak for needing more. I learned too early, tears must hide, that feelings should be kept inside, that asking help was close to shame, and silence safer than a name. So I became my secret's guard, a gentle jailer, standing hard, locking away each fragile part that dared to tremble in my heart. But prisons built of I'm okay grow tighter with each passing day, and walls made out of silent might can block the warmth of needed light. There are days it feels so small, a distant echo, barely a call, and I almost believe I'm free from all that lives inside of me. Then something simple breaks the seam. A song, a smell, a half-remembered dream, and suddenly the weight is there, thick as dust in heavy air. A memory knocks without a sound, and all my careful calm unwinds. The past stands tall before my face, and time forgets to keep its place. I smile still, out of old routine, while storms rearrange the in-between, while oceans rise behind my eyes and sink again without goodbyes. Hidden pain is strange like that. It doesn't roar, it doesn't chat. It lingers like a winter sky, a quiet, never-ending why. Why did it hurt? Why did it stay? Why didn't it just fade away? Why does the heart remember so what mind keeps telling it to let go? I carry questions with no end, ones I don't share, ones I don't send. They circle like unlined birds around the silence of my words. Yet deep beneath the ache and gray, a softer truth still finds its way, a whisper thin, but shining through. You're still here, that matters too, because hidden pain, for all its might, has not erased my will to fight, has not convinced my soul to leave the fragile hope I still believe, that somewhere in a future day I'll set these heavy stones away, and speak the things I couldn't then without the fear of breaking again, that someone's eyes will truly see the quiet war inside of me, and hold my story, piece by piece, not trying to rush it into peace. Till then I walk with careful grace, this unseen weight I still embrace, a tender bruise no one can name, a soft, enduring, hidden pain. There are mornings when the light feels borrowed, thin, not truly mine, as if the sun forgot my door and only brushed the world before. I rise, but something stays behind, a heavy echo in my mind, a tiredness that sleep can't heal, a wound too quiet to be real. I wash my face, I fix my hair, arrange my features with great care, a practiced calm, a steady tone, a way to walk the day unknown. But hidden pain walks close, in step, a silent promise that I've kept, to carry all I never said, to house the tears I never shed. It shows itself in subtle ways, in drifting thoughts, in absent gaze, in how I pause mid-sentence, lost, in counting what each smile has cost. Some days it feels like distant rain, a soft, familiar kind of pain, not sharp enough to make me fall, but always there, beneath it all. Other days it floods the land, pulls the ground from where I stand, turns simple tasks to mountains steep and steals the rest I meant to keep. I've had full rooms and empty nights, loud applause and inner fights, hands to shake and jokes to share. Yet no one saw it waiting there, because hidden pain is well behaved. It doesn't rage, it isn't waved, it sits up straight, it waits its turn, a quiet, constant inward burn. I wonder who I'd be today if I had let it out its way, if younger me had been allowed to cry out loud, to not be proud. Would my shoulders sit less tight? Would my chest feel open, light? Would breathing come without this sense of guarding every difference? Sometimes I press my hand to heart and try to gently pull apart the tangled knots of old despair that still have fingers in me there. I speak to myself in softer tones, as if to soothe old, brittle bones. You did your best with what you knew, you survived, that counts too. And in those moments, small and rare, I feel a little more of air, a space where something warm can start, a tiny window in the heart. Perhaps the pain I tried to hide was never meant to live inside without a voice, without a place, without the kindness of embrace. Perhaps it stayed to make me deep, to teach my eyes to truly weep for others walking just as slow with storms they never let us know. For now I walk, not cured, not whole, but more in touch with this quiet soul, less at war with what I feel, less afraid of what is real. My hidden pain is still with me, but not the only thing I see. There's also strength and fragile grace, and hope that time cannot erase. And maybe one day, when I stand with open heart and open hand, I'll thank the ache I used to blame for carving depth from hidden pain. There are stories buried in my chest that never made it into breath, whole conversations with the past still waiting for their turn at last. I carry faces in my mind, of those I lost, of those left behind, of words we meant but never said, of paths we thought we'd walk instead. Hidden pain remembers all, each silent crack, each quiet fall, not to haunt, but just to stay as proof I lived through yesterday. I used to think that letting go meant pushing every feeling low. Bury it deep, don't let it rise, be brave in front of watching eyes. But buried things don't disappear, they turn to whispers we still hear. They echo in the bones at night and dim the edges of the light. So now I try, though scared and slow, to let a little of it show, to name a hurt, to speak a fear, to trust that someone else might hear. It trembles when it leaves my tongue, like fragile notes not often sung. My voice unsure, my hands unsteady, my heart not certain it is ready. Yet every time I let one out, a truth, a tear, a fragile doubt, the weight shifts just a little less, the air inside feels less compressed. Hidden pain, when shared with care, doesn't grow. It learns to air, it stretches, breathes, becomes more light when held in warmth instead of fight. I'm learning pain is not my foe, not something I must overthrow, but part of being soft and real, a sign that I can deeply feel. And maybe healing isn't fast, not some clean break from all the past, but gentle steps, a gradual art of letting truth live in the heart. There will be days it surges high, when tears return without a why, when old wounds knock upon the door as if they've never left before. But now I know to sit, not run, to say, I see you. When they come, to breathe, to place a hand on chest, and let the rising wave just rest. For hidden pain, when faced with grace, loses some of its sharpest edge. It softens under patient eyes and slowly, quietly unties. I am not only what I hide, not just the ache I keep inside. I am the courage, small but true, that keeps choosing to feel it through. So if you pass me in the day and see me laugh along the way, know there's a story underneath of silent strength and hidden grief. And if you carry yours as well, a private storm you never tell, may you one day find a space where pain can show its tender face, where I am hurting can be said without the fear of being misread, where hearts don't have to stand alone with battles quietly overthrown. Until that world is closer made, I walk in light and in the shade, with open hands, with gentler sight, learning my darkness holds some light. Hidden pain still walks with me, but now it's not my enemy. It's just a chapter, not the end, a wounded place that learns to mend. And step by step, and breath by breath, through quiet life, through love, through death, I grow beyond what once was chain. A soul made deeper by hidden pain that I've started listening when I ache. Instead of telling it to break, I ask it softly, what's the need? What old and thirsty part must feed? Sometimes it answers with a name, a memory wrapped in quiet shame, a younger me who stood alone and learned to turn her heart to stone. I see those moments clearer now, the trembling lip, the furrowed brow, the times I swallowed what I felt because no one saw the hand I held. Hidden pain was born back then, in small, unnoticed if and when, in almost hugs, in words unsaid, in tears I dried before they spread. It grew with every be so strong, with every time I felt wrong, With every need I tucked away to make it safely through the day. But I am older than that fear, wiser now with every year, and I can sit beside that child who fought so hard and never smiled. I tell them now, you did enough. The world you faced was simply tough. You don't have to guard the door. I'm here to hold this hurt you wore. And in that quiet, inward space, I feel a softening take place, as if the walls I built so wide are letting in the light outside. Hidden pain does not resist when met with love instead of fist. It loosens like a careful knot when judged a little less, a lot. Some days I still forget this art, and shove it back into the dark, old habits knock, familiar, fast, built from shadows of the past. But now I notice, now I see the way it curls inside of me, and gently, slowly, I return to sit with what I used to spurn. I've learned that healing isn't loud, no shining crown, no cheering crowd, just quiet choices, day by day, to turn toward truth instead of away, to say I hurt without disguise, to let the water reach my eyes, to trust that breaking does not mean that I am weak or unforeseen, because a heart that feels so deep will sometimes crack, will sometimes weep, and that is not a thing to hide, but proof there's living still inside. Hidden pain once felt like chain, a heavy, endless, falling rain, but now it feels more like a scar, a mark that shows how strong we are. Not strong in never being torn, but strong in waking every morn, in loving still, in hoping yet, in daring not to live in regret. And if one day my story's told in whispers soft or voices bold, I hope they say, they felt it all, the rise, the break, the silent fall. They carried sorrow, yes, it's true, but let compassion guide them through. They turned their wounds to windows wide where others found a place to hide. For that, perhaps, is hidden pain's most tender gift beneath the stains. It carves in us a deeper sight for other souls who walk at night. So I no longer curse its stay, nor beg for it to fade away. I walk beside it, hand in hand, two quiet travelers through this land. And step by step, I come to see it's only part of all of me, not the whole sky, just passing rain. A human heart with hidden pain.